Hi guys, welcome to the very first episode of... We still don't have a name for this podcast, do we?
No.
Yeah, this is going to start very well. My name is Jim Bob. I am one of your hosts for this podcast, as we keep saying it. My other co-host slash friend slash player of Cambridge United Women is Lily.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
We've got no structure to this. It's pretty much winging the... Well, I shouldn't really be looking at the camera. I should be talking to you. This is going to be a nightmare. We do also have Wilson running around, so you'll see a rabbit run around, and if I have to suddenly dart off, it's because he's chewing wires. Yeah, we need to keep him at bay and make sure he doesn't break any of the equipment. So, yeah, Lily, welcome.
Thank you.
To the first episode of the Something podcast. Once we have a name of it, it will be put in there. Hopefully we'll have a name by the time we put the first episode out.
Name is pending.
Yeah, so this whole podcast is going to be based around Cambridge United, around the men's team, well, and the women's team equally, ideally. Each episode we're hopefully going to have a guest on of some sort. First one is... Whoops. Technically you're a guest in the first one because nobody has seen you before on here. Lily is also going to be the co-host. Hello, Wilson. Lily is also going to be the co-host for each week, each month, each episode, however we're going to do it. Yeah, let's get into it. Basically, you, like me, are a massive Cambridge fan.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the season so far? It's been absolutely mental in my eyes.
Not gonna lie, first half of the season, not even half, I don't know, a couple of months. Wasn't really that focused on it. Like, starting a new job, life was busy. I didn't have time to really focus on it. And then come Christmas time sort of thing, really got into it, and just honestly it was mad how we go from the start of the season. I didn't have much hope, I'm not gonna lie. It just didn't seem, after COVID, and kind of seemed a bit like of a miracle that could have...
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think anybody at the start of the season had us pinned for promotion. We were, as everybody probably seen, we were favourites to go down. Obviously, You look at it on paper, you've got a brand new head coach, never managed really before, apart from the odd...
He's quite young as well, isn't he?
Yeah, the odd caretaker roles. You've got an ageing Wes Hoolahan, Paul Mullin, who before this season didn't really score many goals.
You didn't know who he was.
No, exactly. We've got a very... Well, you look at it on paper as well, we've got a young squad and, well, slightly young and slightly old squad. It's not really how you'd fix for promotion.
We've always been a mid-table team. Always, pretty much.
Yeah, to be fair, at the beginning of the season, we started off, I think it was 4 wins out of 5, wasn't it?
It started off good, I suppose. But it still wasn't anything like, this is going to be...
We were winning games and we weren't conceding goals, which was weird considering... We did used to concede lots of goals.
Yes, we did. 100%.
But, I mean, if you look at Mitov as well, when he first came in, he was, I don't want to say awful, but it was his first experience into men's football. Yeah. He didn't have the best start.
No, that's true.
And, it was sort of baptism of fire for him. He was getting a lot of abuse when he first started. But this, what has been, or even the season before, has been his coming of age.
He's great now.
Before his injury, he was one of the keepers of the season.
Yeah, I rate him really high.
The first sign I felt we were going to do something this season was when we played Birmingham in the League Cup.
Yes.
It was very early on in the season. We beat them, I think, comfortably 2-0.
It was a good game.
I was hungover for that game, so I didn't get to watch it. There's a whole other story for that. Yeah, it was when we'd seen, what was it? I think it was Paul Digby and Joe Ironside, I think, scored in that game.
I can't remember, I'm not gonna lie, it was a long time ago.
No, I'm gonna do some quick research.
Do a Google.
Yeah, it's best if I do something like that. That way I can back myself up. Oh, there's Robbie Cundy that scored. It was neither of the two, I thought. That's quite awkward.
That's good that you've researched it though.
Yeah, that's got to do some sort of research. But yeah, when you're playing a team like Birmingham in the Championship, we're in League 2, regardless of the competition, you'd expect Birmingham to come out on top.
Yeah.
100%.
That was definitely a sign of something.
Yeah,
something was going right.
Yeah, I mean, Birmingham were on the slip.
They're still quite a high level team.
Exactly, they're in the Championship. They're 2 divisions. They are two divisions above us. You'd expect, regardless.
Even a 1-0 loss would have been
That would have been
Right,
good
yeah,
for
that would
us.
have been
I mean,
to a
when
championship side.
we played Birmingham the first season, we got promoted, and I think we lost 2-1 in extra time.
Yes.
So you to see where we've come in 7 years is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we could briefly move on to FA Cup.
Yeah. Not
We didn't last very long in that.
No.
I seem to have a majority thing where as soon as I watch iFollow, we lose a game.
Yeah. 100%.
I think I've only watched iFollow once this season when we've actually won a game.
I think I've only watched it once or twice.
Once or twice. Yeah. It got to the last day where I didn't see her till I saw her win on iFollow.
Every time I could watch it, and every time I was free to watch it on iFollow,
We lost. Yeah. Even the only good result we had while I was watching it was when I had COVID. Even then, that's a bad thing to talk about. I had COVID and we played Southend. I expected a massive win and we drew 0-0.
Yeah. Majority of our wins came from when we were on our walks.
Oh yeah, so
Can't forget those.
yeah, so for people that, well, none of you that will know this, but me and Lily we've got sort of a superstition.
Yeah, it kind of. I don't even know how. I think we went for one walk once, just a random it wasn't meant to be a continuous thing.
I think it was. I'd just come out of isolation, and I needed to see another face to keep me sane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd only just come out like that Thursday or something, or Wednesday. And
it was the Friday because I made my midnight McDonald's trip.
And then we went out on the Saturday.
Yeah, we went out on the Saturday, and I will quickly see who we had because I can't for the life of me remember who it was.
But the walks we were going on were just around the villages, but they were like 12k walks.
Yeah, well, they started off small. I think we did 5k for the first one.
Yeah.
Was it the first game? So it was February. It wasn't Scunthorpe. It was a Tuesday night. Was it Warsaw?
I can check on my Strava.
Yeah, good idea.
Because I've got all of them loaded up, but we've experienced every single weather, haven't we?
Yeah, to be fair, we started off the walks.
We've been in hot weather.
Hot, cold, rainy, hail. The only thing we haven't done is snow yet.
Yeah.
But that'll be an interesting one. So
that's next season.
Yeah. So what it was, it was Oldham. That was the first one.
Was it the one?
That was the one where we decided.
Was it?
Yeah. 13th of March. So.
Oh my god, 13th of March.
Yeah, we decided after we'd come out of after my COVID.
Oh my god, it was.
Experience. We'd go for a walk. One, to have a catch up, and two, to listen to the game. And Lily got here and we were getting I was putting my boots on after showing her around the house because I think it was the first time you'd been here as well.
I've been in properly,
yeah. So I was showing Lily around and we were listening to the first half of the game and we were 1-0 down after 2 minutes, I think it was. And we didn't hear it until... Well, I heard briefly they said, "Oh, Cambridge are 1-0 down."
Yeah, and then I went outside to go put my walking boots on.
I'd put mine on and then came outside and I said, "Did you know we're 2-0 down already?"
And it was 10 minutes in.
Yeah, and we just got to the top of my road and I said, "I bet you Cambridge will win 4-2."
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh, I should probably put a bet on it," and then you never did. And then at the end of the game,
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, because we got halfway. We got to the first part of the walk where we were trekking through a massive amount of mud. They'd scored a penalty, and I think I almost fell in the mud.
We were if anyone saw us, I don't know what they would have thought.
Well, I mean, bunch of nutters running through mud. To be fair,
with a speaker in the bag, we looked like those.
I don't know. We didn't have a speaker at that point. We had it concealed nicely in my coat pocket.
I think that first one was. I just had a look. The first walk I can find on the 13th of March was 10.66 kilometres.
Yeah, that's mad.
I know.
Considering how unfit and everything I was still struggling with the after effects from COVID.
And then the next one was 20th.
Yeah, because there was Burton saved the penalty in that game as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Actually, I tell you a lie, I think we've seen 2 wins on iFollow. Because the very next week we had Forest Green.
Yes.
We got halfway towards Bourne.
Yeah.
And you remember what I'm going to say now. So the story was after this Oldham game, after doing 10k with the Oldham game, we moved on to the next week and we decided to go for a walk. Another one, it was only about, I think it was another 10k, but we wanted to try and make the walks long enough to where we could listen to the whole game. and I think we just got halfway round when Cambridge had scored.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's going to be some amazing bloopers to this.
some great clips to just post on the YouTube channel. Right, now Wilson's eating, I can get back to talking. So we just got halfway round, and we were about halfway to Bourne.
Yeah.
And Lily had it on her phone. We were watching it at this point. We had the speaker in the backpack as well.
Yeah, we had it on my phone.
And this lady starts cycling past us. Like she was like smiling to us, like, oh, like,
just
hi, you're right. And all of a sudden, we just start going, yes, out of nowhere. And I'm surprised she didn't fall off the bike, to be fair.
It was literally as she was next to us, we just screamed.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
Wes Hoolahan scored the only goal of that game, and all of a sudden, it's just the emotion that just flew out of us. And afterwards, we just thought, because she probably couldn't hear the fact that we were listening to the game, so.
It was quite cold, I think. She probably had a hat on or something.
Yeah, she must have been just thinking, why are they cheering because they've seen someone on a bike? We could have been playing like real life bingo or something. Yeah. That was a bit weird, but that's probably one of the really highlights, or the big highlights from the walks out. Was hilarious. There's not usually people around when we start cheering, but you can probably. I reckon you could hear us. We weren't exactly quiet when we were cheering.
No, we weren't on a main road though, thankfully.
That would have been funny. A car's going past and cheering. Yes, I saw a car!
I also remember always walking under that bridge in Toff, I think it was.
After walking through...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the following game.
Like a horse field or something.
Yeah, that was Carlisle. So we'd gone on an even longer walk.
Yeah.
And Lily was telling me stories from when she was working at United. Do you want to tell them about... What about the one with the mother in the changing rooms?
Like working
so
at United.
We'll start it off.
Yeah.
If you explain what you do at United pre-COVID times.
And hopefully
next season as well.
Just working on match days, like mascots, birthday parties, match day experiences. Just like it sounds really like it's kind of hard to explain what you do.
Babysitter.
You just kind of like babysit the kids in a way. Stadium tours, all of that, and obviously then we take the players in the dressing rooms, and you go like round the backs of the stadium. You kind of have access to most places once you get to know all the staff. And obviously I've been in the dressing room quite a few times with kids, parents, just everyone. Seen a lot of sights in the changing rooms. I think my favourite will always be a mother coming in with her kids. I think he was a mascot or something, and I think they were in like hospitality, so they were like on the bevs, like drinking, and she was a little bit tipsy and decided that Mitov took like her fancy a little bit, and she decided to sit on his lap and make a bit of a song and dance about it in the changing rooms, and it was definitely I was a bit like, I don't really know how to approach the situation apart from just look.
I still feel very awkward for the child, to be fair.
The kid was just trying to get signatures of Mitov, and the mum was just on his lap. That must have been like a good couple of years ago. I'm not gonna lie, it was a long time ago. Yeah,
it's probably when he first started then.
I think it was like...
Hi, welcome to United. Have a mother sit on your lap.
I think it was... Obviously, the last one I did was February 2020. I think it was probably like the start of that season. So 2019.
I'm trying to think back to the last game that I went to. I think it might have been the Orient one where we lost 4-2.
The last game I went to was the last home game before COVID, so...
It was crazy.
You see some sites where you get to know everyone, and it's weird like then seeing the players and like the coaches on like the iFollow and stuff, and how like it's like when I've obviously not known because I don't think Mark Bonner knows who I am, but like I've seen him around like the stadium and like in the dressing rooms since that summer 2018 is when I first started.
Yeah.
So it's mad to watch it grow from like a outside point, but also from an insider point, because obviously no one really knows who I am.
Yeah.
But I can see it all.
I mean, to be fair, like I've said multiple times, I'm extremely jealous of you.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was kind of in the same boat when I started here at the women's team.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody. I wanted to know everybody.
Yeah.
But now, a lot of you in the women's team are now my personal friends.
Yeah.
And it's like an everyday thing. Oh, I've turned up and see people and things like that. Whereas if I went to see and saw a player of some sort from the men's team, I would probably freeze and be like, "Hi."
It is quite like, it was weird to start off with, because obviously I started when I was, how old was I? 16, working at the club, and I was on a voluntary basis for so long. I was just helping out like until I got my level 1. I'm pretty sure it was just voluntary. I think it was 2018 or 2019. I can't remember. Just started up, and it's like, obviously when you first go in the dressing rooms for the first time, you are a fan. Like, obviously to begin with, you are a fan, and it is weird. And then you obviously have to get past that, like, oh my god, I'm in the dressing room.
You have to put it aside and just think, I work with these people.
Yeah, and then you have to, and obviously it starts then to become normal.
Yeah.
You're doing it every Saturday, and it's just like your routine. But it was really weird going from like always going to watch games with my family, like my dad and my sister, always going to watch a game, sitting in like the south stand when it used to be the family days.
Yeah.
To then being pitch side and having access to like loads of places, and just it's a weird jump, but then it's mad to watch it grow. Like, it's so crazy.
When you said you get nervous talking to players, I've got my own little story about that. I think I've told you this before, the Leeds story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we played Leeds in the FA Cup, I was selling match programmes, and I wasn't chucked in the away stand. I was basically taking programmes to the away stand, and we had, I think BT was there, I think BBC was there as well, and I was already a bit starstruck beforehand, because I haven't told you this bit, I was there that early that I saw all the players coming in, and they came in through the Newmarket roadway for the TV cameras, and I was trying to say players' names and I froze. So who was playing then? I think Greg Dahlia and Dunk were there at that point.
Yeah.
I was trying to and I was just freezing. But I managed to say, I saw Sean Derry was the gaffer then, and I said, "Can I have a photo, please, Sean?" Like, in a really like scared, shaky voice. You listen to me on this, you wouldn't think I'd get nervous or anything. But if I see someone like that, I'm like, "Can I have a photo, please?" It was really weird, but he was like, "Yeah, have a photo." It was one of probably the worst photo I think I've ever took. I had the double chin on it, was real at that point. But after that, I was taking programmes to the away stand, and I had the luxury of walking around the pitch with Dion Dublin, probably the biggest legend in the club, until Paul Mullin came along. I was walking around the pitch with him, and I wanted to say things to him, just talk to him, but nothing was coming out of my mouth. And the only thing that I think I said to him was, "It's nice to be home, innit?" And he's like, "Yeah."
No,
that was pretty much what he said. I was like, "Nice to meet you, Dion." And then I just walked off and literally just put the programs in my face. Like, oh no. I was like, I was filming at that point as well. I was like, I had the perfect opportunity to have Dion Dublin appear on one of the match day videos. And I froze.
And you're just like, I don't know what to do.
I'd like to see to be fair, if I got in that situation again, I'd like to see if I'd be able to go through with it. Yeah. Would I be able to go up to, say, Mark Bonner or Paul Mullin of all people, Wes Houlihan? Would I be able to go up to him and say, and just hold the camera, tell him, "Can I film for my vlog?" And if they said yes, I'd be like,
"What was it?" Yeah, like, you've got to do what you
"Hi."
I think my most memorable memory of working there at the club, or being involved in the club, not as a fan, was I had to work on the turnstiles one day.
Oh God.
Me and my mate Izzy had to work on the turnstiles, and I don't even know, like, there was loads of us at the club, like quite a few of us who work like in the coaching side of things for like the youth. We were all sat in the office, like around underneath the south stand, and then me and Izzy got chucked on the turnstiles between the south stand and like one of the Habins, that corner that faces out onto like Coldham's Common.
Yes.
I think that's what it's called. The
Habin
corner,
Habin stand,
where the old like food service point was at the top.
Well, actually in the stand.
In the stand.
Yeah, that's the
corner.
Habin. Yeah, that's the Habin.
There's the turnstiles there, and me, I think that was a long time ago. Me and Izzy were on the turnstiles having to take tickets off people and let people in, and that was an experience.
They were used. I take it they were the Cambridge fans.
They were away fans.
And you got stuck on the south stand turnstile. That must have been.
It was a weird experience.
I would have loved it. I'd have just gone, ticket please. Yes, thank you. You're going to lose today, but enjoy the game.
I think I was like 16, 15. No, 16. I definitely wasn't 17 yet.
Yeah.
16 at this point. And so was Izzy was just sat facing each other on these turnstiles, like, what are we doing? Like having to press these, and like the turnstiles are hard to use. Having to we've got like big away men like coming in who have got like pints and stuff, and they're like little 16-year-old me sitting in the turnstiles like,
ticket please.
Just having to and then the turnstiles stop working and they can't get in and it's stressful. That was, I think,
although
a good memory. You've
reminded me of another story. So back in the I want to call it the heydays of when my channel was up popping, and when I think you were a viewer then.
Probably. Because I didn't start till 2018.
Yeah, so this would have been in 2017. I think this was when Oxford was still in League Two.
Oh my god.
So this was a few years back, yeah. I was still doing programs then, but it was more, I was just lapping the pitch because I could, and I was filming little bits for the channel. And when Cambridge played Oxford, the south stand was always full.
Yeah.
And I remember one time there was Marvin the Moose was standing in front of the away stand, like taunting the Oxford fans, and they were chanting, "What the hell are you?" And I was like, "No, I'm not having this." So I put my arm around him, and we're standing there jumping around, dancing and pointing to him. And I was thinking, and again, that's another thing that should have been on camera, going, "Who the fucking hell are you?" and all that stuff. And I'm like, any other day, I wouldn't have done anything like that. It was just in the moment. I was like,
let's go.
Yeah, that was back when I think. Do you remember Kwesi Appiah?
Sort of, yeah.
Or you know of
the
Kwesi Appiah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when he scored I think it was the winner that day, and he celebrated in front of the Oxford fans. And I think they did a celebration similar to what me and Marvin were doing. They literally put all their arms around each other and started jumping around.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, I did that before them. They copied me. But to be fair, I don't think they did.
No, yeah.
To be fair, they might have seen me out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was quite funny. That's one of my other stories. It's all of a sudden just popped into my head.
I've got loads of memories. It's weird. It's obviously I'm quite young, and when I obviously haven't done a match day since I was a year ago.
Yeah.
And the skip challenge at half time. That's what we have to then run as well. So obviously you bring the skip out, and that's quite a unique thing to have. It's not something every club has. So in the away, you've got the away team on the pitch at half time having a kick about, and then we bring the skip on. Quite often we've had away team their subs trying to kick, and we're having to tell off these fully grown professional footballers. It's little 16-year-old me's trying to control these 6 or 7 subs of an away League 2 team professional footballers. It's quite scary. You don't realise it until...
Must have had some cojones on you then.
I was a bit no, this is not for you.
To be fair, the skip challenge, it was good, but they made it really easy at one point, didn't they? They put the backboard on it.
Yeah.
And then lots of people started getting it in, so they took it away again.
I've after doing the skip, running it for 2 years, or running it, helping do it, I've only ever done it once, and I think you might have been at that game, because it was the game that us women had to do the collection for the money, and then there was me, you, and a couple of others that stood in the Newmarket Road end during the game. Yeah,
I was there, but you all disappeared to go do the skip challenge. Yeah. I wasn't allowed to come.
And there was me and 2 others that did the skip challenge.
Yeah, you had...
Sav did it, and someone else did it.
Ex-goalkeeper Sav, and we had current goalkeeper... I think Liz did it as well. Yeah.
I can't remember. I remember Sav got it in.
She's one of the only few to get it in without having the backboard there.
And mine went basically like
South stand top.
I don't even know where it
Rose
went.
Ed.
Extremely embarrassing.
I mean, to be fair, watching that from the Newmarket Road end, it looks easy.
I didn't realise how hard it was until I did it. Obviously, when you run it every week, you're like, oh, God, it's not that hard, surely.
Well, you'd think it'd be easy, but then again, you'd think that it'd be easy, but you always think, oh, I'd be wearing boots, I'd be in like
football
shorts,
stuff.
Football kit.
Most people turn up like we've had people.
You're in jeans, you're in flat shoes. I've seen so many people fall on their asses.
I've had people who have been in like obviously like the 8 building, like hospitality, who are there for like a proper sit down meal in full suits, like suit shoes and everything, trying to do the skip challenge while they're like absolutely smashed, and that is definitely makes it 10 times harder than it already is.
Speaking of hospitality things, I've got another story, but I won't name any names in this because I don't think it'll be damaging, but I know other people do it. So there was a group of people that were got like a hospitality thing. They were like the match sponsor and all that. And it was an awful game, we'll put it that way. I think we were losing 3-0 at one point. They decided, bollocks to this, I'm going to the bar. And they stayed in the bar from half time right up until the last 10 minutes. And they had to pick a man of the match as well. And they just literally pulled a name out random, and they picked Paul Lewis, and he'd had a shocker because I think just after he got man of the match, he got sent off as well. So I remember seeing him after the game. They go, "What would you think of the man of the match?" I was like, "It was a shocking decision. Why'd you pick them?" They go, "Oh, we didn't. We were just in the bar. We were losing 3-0, so we didn't want to come back in." And I was like, "Well, fair enough." But I go, did you know Paul Mullin got sent? Not Paul Mullin, it was Paul Lewis. I was like, did you know Paul Lewis got sent off straight after the man of the match? And he's like, you're joking. And then they're just pissing themselves laughing that they had to give a bottle of champagne to Paul Lewis after he'd been sent off. Well done for your red card, mate.
I love that. That's great.
I can't remember what game it was. It wasn't a Tranmere one. But I can remember it so vividly when you say certain words, something just pops into your head. Yeah. Because we are so far off the topics that I wanted to do, but I'm well happy with where we are at the moment. Yeah. It's quite enjoyable, to be fair. We'll make it as obvious, and we'll just move into the women's team now. We're both part of that club.
Yeah.
We're both part of the club in different. Yes. So I kind of want to explain what you do, but you're a player.
Yeah.
You play games.
I try.
Scoring goals for you is a striker that scores goals.
I don't even know.
Explain.
I don't really have a position. Like 1 week I'll be a striker, the next I'll be centre mid. Like, I just don't score. Ever.
You're a...
I don't really know what
the Jordan Slew of the women's team.
I'm an injury-prone...
pickle.
As Leon would say.
I won't go into that. I'll get Leon to explain when I get him on at some point. You've been here with us even before you were 16, I think.
So I did the summer 2018, turned 16 at the start of August. Started doing football camps over the girls' football camps, like helping out, and then Charlotte Crisp, who obviously plays as well, was doing the camps with me and introduced me to Kev and Vic at the end of August because I was too old to do the GDC. I trained with you guys for about 4 months before I even signed.
Felt like ages.
I didn't sign until December. First game was Norwich.
That wasn't the first game that
First game I played was Norwich away at the Flegg, I think that's what it's called or whatever.
Because that was the first game that Norwich was the first game that I came to as a coach or a whatever. We'll go into that at some point, a different time or maybe later on.
Yeah.
You sure it's your back?
It's coming from my back. I can feel it.
Well, if the microphone's not picking this up, Lily's back, although it sounds like her stomach is making really weird noises. I'm just expecting a massive burp to come out of you in a minute.
We'll definitely have to cut that out.
No, that'll stay in. We'll keep that in. It'll keep the views up.
Brilliant.
Cambridge United player farts/burps on camera.
Can we just clarify? I haven't.
Yet. So if we go into... we'll go... What memorable moments since you've been at the club? I've got a few.
God.
But that's probably because I've been here a lot longer than you have.
I've got a few memories. Like, they all kind of... What was the... I'll always remember going out. Like, quite a lot of them about going out. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, to be fair, share some of them because
Like,
it gives the audience that are watching an insight that players and stuff are very much just nothing like they are at a game. The complete opposite.
Yeah, so obviously I signed in December 2018. First time I ever went out, like, I didn't know anyone when I first joined. I didn't know anyone.
Was that the pub crawl?
We went on we did pub golf.
That
I was
one.
16 doing a pub. I wasn't doing.
She wasn't drinking. I'll add this into the video. I'll look at the camera. Lily was not drinking at the age of 16 in pubs. I can clarify that.
We went bowling. Were you there?
Yes.
We went bowling and then we went round all the pubs in Cambridge, and I remember just obviously I wasn't drinking, and I had obviously I think I had Ebony on one arm, like, hanging off me walking down the street, and it was with Gemma. I think you were there, Kirsten. I think the only sort of four that I would was speaking to at that point.
Yeah.
But I just remember that like so clearly, like people trying to down a Guinness in like 2.
Oh God.
Do you remember going to the pub? I think it was the first one we went to, and there was like this weird band in there, and it was really awkward. There was us lot walking in ready for like a big night, and there's this like folk band.
So I'll paint the picture for everybody. This was like a Christmas, like our first Christmas.
I think it was a Christmas
party.
It was just a Christmas party, yeah.
So we'd gone to Cineworld at the point. I think it was still called then.
Bowling under there.
At the leisure centre, actually in Go on, South African. Actually in Cambridge, and I think we played only one game of bowling.
1 or 2, yeah.
And someone came up with the idea of pub golf. And I don't drink usually during the season. My thing was and still is to a point now is during the season I won't drink.
Avoid drink where possible.
Yeah, because I like to be in tip-top shape for standing behind a camera for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We'd finished bowling and then we'd gone to the first pub. So I can't remember the name of it, but if you go onto, I think is it Hills Road or Hills Road?
Hills Road,
go over the railway bridge, and it was the first pub on the right hand side.
Yeah, it's like opposite the junction that goes down back towards like Newnham Way.
I can remember the first drink, and it was a cider because cider was my thing.
Yeah.
But even then, it was a struggle to do it because we'd been drinking in the bowling alley.
They were doing like a cider down in 2. It was like a pint, I think. Like,
yeah, you had to get that. You
had like 2.
I think it was 3 the first one. So it was always like it was like 3, then 2, then 1.
And there was like
there's plenty of shots, and then I remember because the Flying Pig was the second one.
Flying Pig, I remember that so clearly.
That was the weirdest place I've ever been to.
It was like so like dark,
so
and
cramped, dark,
stuff
small.
hanging from the ceilings.
It was like a gothic sort of place.
It was manic as well. I remember just walking around there like, what is going on?
Yeah, I didn't get a drink in that one.
Obviously, because I wasn't drinking, and people were obviously downing their drinks in like 1 or 2, so we weren't in each pub for very long.
No.
So I don't think I had a single drink that night.
I think the bracket was each pub we were supposed to be in there for about half an hour, 45 minutes. We were in and out of each pub within like 15-20 minutes.
I don't think I had one drink that night because obviously
you couldn't drink that.
But like I was being offered like lemonades and cokes and all of this jazz. But like obviously if people are downing their drinks in like 2, like I'm not going to down a pint of lemonade. I don't.
No, that's true.
It's because it's fizzy. I think it'd have killed me. So I just followed everyone around for the evening and then got picked up at some point.
I can remember we stay into Flying Pig at the minute. I can remember we kept losing people.
Yeah.
Because weirdly enough, the toilets were sort of
round the back, down,
like under the pub.
It was weird.
And people were getting lost, and people were quite drunk. These stairs were quite steep as well. I remember people stumbling up and down to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
So you literally had someone standing at the stairs to make sure that no one fell over.
It was a good night, to be fair. Like I think that was a good way to be introduced into the, because everyone looked after me. Obviously, you don't need to be 18 to go into a pub. I don't think.
I think you.
I don't
know, but I thought you had to after a certain time.
After a certain time, so obviously it was fine to begin with, and then I was just being put in the middle of everyone, and everyone was just walking in, and I was just sort of being like pulled around in this crowd. Obviously it was fine 'cause I wasn't drinking, but definitely probably a bit.
Yeah,
personal.
I mean,
there's been a few of those.
I remember the third and the fourth pub. Third one, it was you had to down a Guinness.
Yeah, I remember that so clearly because everyone was like,
was
dying. Someone went to the toilet.
I remember seeing a picture when we got promoted. Wes Houlihan was down at a pint of Guinness. I brought back what it tasted like. I was like, this is disgusting. I cannot stand Guinness.
No.
And then the pub just before you got straight into the centre of town, there was Christmas trees.
Yeah, it was quite a nice pub, to be fair.
Do you remember people taking the baubles off and putting them on their ears?
I remember someone had a sombrero.
Yeah, actually, I won't put the video on the podcast, but I will show Lily and let you hear it all. What was going on? It was quite funny.
I've got a video from that night.
One of my friends was or still is. She's in a committed relationship. She's getting married. She's getting married, I think, in 2 months. And this bloke was trying to get her number, and she's like, "Nah, mate, I've got a girlfriend already." And this was the video from it, and then all of a sudden it was other people were walking in the background, so it was literally this.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, then there was.
Who's that first one? Who's that?
I can't remember her
I
name.
don't recognise. Oh, I know it. I know her name.
I can just the only thing you can think of,
say it,
you can hear Faith just going in the background. I'm Pat Butcher, mate. Wee.
We've had some good nights out. Another one would be end of season that year when we went to the Hilton.
Yes,
that was good because that was nice because it was kind of civilised. And then obviously everyone went out afterwards. We went over to Spoons, and I walked with everyone to Spoons. Obviously couldn't get in.
Everyone's go-to place start off is the Regal.
I obviously couldn't get in. I was still 16 at this point.
Oh, you missed out the great one the year before. I'll go in. We'll finish yours and then I'll go into that one.
And then I'll always remember that one after that when the Devs went out at Christmas. Were you there? We went ice skating. And then
I was there, but I left very early.
We went into Spoons, and
you hid in the toilets for 10 o'clock.
Because obviously we got there, it was like a normal, reasonable time. It was probably 6 or 7. Because we were having food and stuff, so we all just sat in there, nice, whatever. It was quite civilised, nice. Then people started joining in because not everyone came ice skating, and we were all around this tiny table, weren't we? Had 2 sofas, and then there was we had 6 or 7 chairs around it. And I'll always remember going down to the toilet.
So we'll get back into it after having to stop to move Wilson again. As you can see, this is not the location we were going to be filming in.
Temporary.
This is only hopefully a temporary setup, because I can't be moving Wilson around every time we've got someone round.
No,
every time there's a guest, I'm gonna have to stop every 5 minutes to move the rabbit. So anyway, we'll go back into it. You were hiding in the toilets.
I was hiding I had to go down to the toilet we went to the toilets anyway, and then I think someone texted us going they're IDing, stay in there. So we were in the toilet, so it must have been half an hour, 45 minutes. We must have took so many selfies in the mirror and just wasting time. And then obviously I came back out at after we got the all clear, and somehow managed to I wasn't drinking either, to clarify. I was not illegally partaking in any activities.
You just wanted to stay so you could finish your food.
I just wanted to stay because I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. To be fair, I think we were just beforehand. We'd ordered an absolute ton of food, and then we ordered a ton of food, and then we all had like 2 pitchers each at the same time.
I didn't drink. I tried about 4 different pitchers of like sips of them. I think there was only one I liked, but all the other ones were a bit. I didn't like it. I'm pretty sure they were getting like proper strange flavours or something. I
can remember
I liked
Rousey and her famous lager top.
Yeah.
'Cause she had to drive home.
Yeah.
That was quite fun.
What other? We've also. Did you go to Smokeworks when we all went out? We all went out for a meal in Smokeworks.
I don't think so.
And we had like this. Oh, it was so funny. We had our own private room, and it was like right downstairs at the back, and we had basically the whole room to ourselves. And like, if you wanted to call the waiters, you'd like press the button on the wall, and it sent like a light down, obviously back.
Oh, really?
Up. It was so cool.
Yeah, I don't remember going to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a few strange nights out.
The one at Leon's will never be beaten.
Oh God. I'm not gonna.
I can get into this.
No, let's not get into this one until we have Leon on it.
Oh my God,
because
that would be so funny.
To have him on it, explaining it from his point of view, will be.
Because obviously I was only there for a bit. I didn't see actually.
It went downhill after you left. We'll just leave it like that. We'll leave that one there for the moment.
Oh yeah, I left and it all went wrong.
Yeah. When I meant memories, I didn't mean. Have you got any playing memories? Because most of the ones we've talked about is all about us getting drunk or.
I remember. I think it was Norwich away. Oh my God.
I know you won't be able to see this, but my rabbit has got himself into a small corner, and so back into it. You were about to tell me a really unbelievable point before.
My one memory that always sticks out to me, not necessarily a specific one, will always be any of our away days on the minibus.
Oh God!
Like, I think it was Norwich away, or I think Norwich away and Crawley away were my 2 that stick out, because when we first used to get the minibus, everyone used to come on the bus.
Can I quickly add, these 2 that she's about to explain were my first 2 away games with them.
Was it?
Yeah, I'd only been with you like 3 games at that point.
Oh, because you were with like first, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think the first.
So it's all me.
The first. We used to get the minibus, and
before COVID, of course.
Yeah. And everyone used to get on the bus. Like, they used to be like, the bus would be like packed. There would be no spare seats. Like, everyone would get the bus. And then, like, obviously depending on where we were, people would drive themselves because it's more convenient. And I think Norwich was one of them, where it was like you and Chloe Smith at the back. I was 1 seat forward, and then I think there was maybe like a couple more people, like 1 or 2 more people on the bus. So it was quite dead.
Yeah, we didn't have that many for that game, which was.
I think quite a lot of people drove.
If we had a lot more people on the bus, it would have been probably a lot louder than it was.
And I always remember, like, we went to remember, I think you stole Chloe Smith's sliders once or twice and like put them somewhere she couldn't find them. I remember she's done a backflip on the bus.
You got hummus on your shirt.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That was before I.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, so we'd.
I forgot about
Norwich
that.
away. Norwich at this point played in Acle, and we stopped off just outside Yarmouth to get a coffee.
We went to Starbucks.
We went to Starbucks, and we all got drinks. I think I got a white vanilla latte or something like that. Very basic bitch drink.
Basic white girl.
Basic white girl. And Chloe Smith, a player who you would have seen in one of the video I did in December. I can't remember where it was, but I decided to steal her sliders.
Yeah.
And I can't remember why I did it. I hid one on the luggage rack, and then I hid one on the floor.
At the front, I think under a seat or something.
No, it was on the floor outside the bus.
Oh my God, yeah.
I literally put it on the floor outside the bus, and I said, "If you want it, you've got to come and get it." And she it's going to make me sound like a really bad person, but she.
That's just us, though. Like, that's a really good insight, I think, into our team. Like,
yeah.
we just. It's not bullying each other, but we just We can do things like that, and it's just funny.
Oh, it's going to sound like I'm bullying her when I explain what happened next. So she got the shoe from up on the luggage
Do I
rack.
remember this?
She come to the front. You might have gone inside at that point.
I think I might have gone inside.
She goes, Jim, I want my slider back, please. I said, okay. It's down there on the floor. She goes, can I have it, please? I said, yeah, it's there on the floor. I'm not going to give it to you because
It's there.
Because it's funny. And Chloe has one of her classic meltdowns.
Oh, bless
and starts crying. And it was literally... Bear in mind, you've got the front of the bus, you've got the step, and you've got the floor.
Yeah.
It was at the bottom of the... It was on the floor, literally.
Yeah.
If she sat on the step, she could have put a foot in the slider, but she decided to have a meltdown and cry instead. So I'm not a bully. I'd like to say that I'm not a bully.
I've got a video of her doing a backflip on a bus,
That was on the way back.
holding on to the luggage things. I've got...
Because we'd lost that game.
Yeah.
A lot of people were very depressed on that one on the way
Do you
back.
remember Crawley Away when I got, like, I don't even...
You got bitten.
I got bit on my
You
arm.
had a Luis Suarez moment. Someone actually bit you.
I had bite marks on my arm. I always remember that because that was a... I remember that game so clearly, Crawley Away.
That was my first away game with you.
I remember that, like, clearer than any football memory. For some reason, I don't know why. I remember the exact road and where we parked. It was like right on the side, like just on the street.
Mm.
We were on like a playing pitch. The changing rooms were awful.
It's like you could explain the changing room as like a shower block in a swimming pool.
It was just like bare brick and cold and.
It's not something I've ever. So you explain it like park football, where you've got like a bench and things like that. It felt like. If you go into a park and you see like a toilet block, it looked like that, and it felt like that when you walked in. But there was a changing room there.
The thing is that I think that's pretty standard. We've just got the luxury of our facilities. I think we're so used to having.
We are very spoiled.
We are so spoiled, and we're so lucky to have what we have. That when we go to somewhere that isn't necessarily as lucky, it's a bit like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, so...
I think we are very, very lucky to have what we have.
So those of you that don't know, Cambridge United Women, we play all of our home games at St Neots. The first team play on the main first team pitch. The dev team play on the Astro, the 3G AstroTurf. We're very spoiled in that fact because we've got nice change rooms as well.
Yeah.
And we've got a nice soft 3G.
Yeah.
So whenever we go anywhere and it's grass, everyone seems to be a bit... scared.
It's a bit like, it's just, well, I think because we're so used to like having the luxury of what we have, that like when we played Northampton, everyone's a bit like,
oh jeez,
everyone's a bit like, what is going on? But like, I think that's normal for our level of football. Like, obviously we're not that high level.
No.
But we're a decent level, but we're not like high level that our facilities should need to be of an excellent standard. That everyone else has got the standard that they need. We're just extremely lucky, I think.
If you look at it, if you look at the football pyramid, I'd say our facilities that we've got are on par with championship standards, if not WSL.
Like, oh yeah, I've definitely been to some I've seen some teams and I'm just like, they're so much higher than us, but they're like, do you remember when we played? Were you there? We played Charlton. I think it was Charlton away. The changing rooms were in like some porter cabin.
No, I wasn't at that one.
And like they're London Bees, for example. Like London Bees, like their first team is what are they? WSL Championship?
What, Bees?
Yeah. And same as
they are Championship. If
that's
I remember right.
Like their first team, like they've got money behind them. Like their players, some of their players.
They play at Barnet. They play at Barnet's first team ground.
Their development. When you compare the first team, how they play in that massive ground, their facilities are amazing. Where we played, when we played the Devs, at the top of this hill, about a mile away from the toilets.
Yeah, so
like, I'm not exaggerating the fact it was probably about nearly a mile away from the toilets.
Yeah, it could have been about quarter of a mile, half a mile out of a push.
Yeah, because by the time
it's
you get
on top of a hill, and you can see
Just about make out the stadium in the
you
distance.
you can see the ground in the distance because they were playing. Bees were playing Charlton that day.
Yeah.
And where we were,
literally the furthest point away possible.
you could see the London Underground as well.
Yeah, and like
it would have been probably better for us to not park at the ground, but park on the street nearest to where we
and
were.
our dugouts were like pop-up tents that kept blowing away in the
Can't
wind.
complain with them. They're really
were
good.
good.
They were well.
They saved us, but just like when you look at like how their first team's a really high level. You'd think that whole club as a whole has, like, you'd think, oh, we're playing a team like that. Your facilities would be.
You'd think, well, yeah,
you'd
expect
us,
you'd expect someone like B is to have the facilities that we have basically.
100%. And it just I think we do forget how lucky we are until we go somewhere like the facilities are a lot worse, and we're like, we're so lucky.
We've talked about memories that you've got on and off the pitch. We've talked about the facilities that we've got. Recently, after we'll go back to November when we played our last game of the season against Orient.
Yeah, that was November, December time.
Yeah, we'll skip over the game, and
I didn't play in that one actually, did I?
No, you were injured at that point.
I was watching.
Yeah. We'll skip over the game, and we knew at that point we were going to have a month's break at least.
Yeah.
We didn't expect it to last all the way up until March.
No, it was weird because it's obviously I think we had training after that game on the Tuesday or the Thursday.
Because we were supposed to be playing Tottenham.
Yeah, we had a game. We had training obviously, and no one really knew. It was kind of like a Happy Christmas, but I might see you on Thursday, or Happy Christmas. It was like Happy Christmas, but I might see you next week.
Yeah.
But half people weren't there because of like some people were isolating, and some like it was a bit of like a weird like bye.
It was when Corona was sort of on its full strength. I'm coming to get you phase.
And yeah, everyone just kind of obviously everyone was handing in their Secret Santas.
This bloody rabbit is going to drive me nuts. Anyway, back to it. So yeah, we did set up a Secret Santa, but it ended up being a Secret Santa Easter bunny.
Easter bunny that happened after Easter.
Yeah. So we didn't really see each other until
20 something of March, 28th of March, 30th of March.
It was
last
late
week
March.
Of March. Yeah.
Late March, because we knew the government restrictions at that point were easing.
Yeah.
And we were all starting to see each other. We could meet up in groups of.
We could do one, like we did a couple of kickabouts at the park.
Yeah, and COVID seemed very much on the die down because at one point in training, we were missing near enough half the squad because obviously we have a lot of, you have to say kids, they're still at school.
Yeah, students, pupils.
And they were having to isolate because people were testing positive at the school. So at one point we were left with, I think at one point we had like 6 players at training.
Yeah, it was very much like up and down all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know how you felt about it, but for me, COVID was always that thing of, I know it's there, but I'm not scared of it.
Yeah.
It's like, it felt like it's a cough. I can't really explain it, but I didn't want nothing to stop because I thought if I hadn't had it by, we were December, January time, I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to get it. Like, can we go back to seeing everyone? Because it was January, even then it was still rising.
Yeah.
But I felt at the time like...
I was over it.
Yeah, I think everyone was. We just wanted to get back to normal.
I think because I'd obviously worked in a school from September, obviously we were in lockdown. Every time we had a lockdown or anything, like from Christmas to whenever schools reopened, I was in the whole time.
Yeah.
I never was, and because of like the nature of my job, I can't socially distance from kids. Like, all I can do is wear a mask and sanitize my hands. I can't do anything else really. So it almost became normal. Just I've forgotten about it because obviously my job I physically couldn't avoid it. But when I got back to football, I didn't almost care about it. I'd lost the care for it. I was like, I'm so used to having to not
So
go with the rules. I had to.
So for people that don't know, your job is you're a TA basically.
TA in like a specialist unit in a secondary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were technically classed as a key worker at that point,
yeah.
as well as I was, because
Yeah.
I work in a warehouse supplying stuff for gas and electric.
Yeah.
I saw COVID throughout the whole thing, the start of it, the worst of it, like where we are now, like it dying down a bit. And I thought to myself, if I was going to get it, I'd have got it a lot earlier than when I did. I managed to somehow catch COVID in the February.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well, all factors considering.
And it was only once I'd got it, I felt, oh shit, this is... it was real, but it's one of them things where I don't want to believe it's real, you can't
quite put your finger on what it is until it happens.
Yeah, exactly. I got it, and then I was just like, shit, this is something real. It's not to mess with. Yeah, like I said in the video, I was here. It's a hard thing.
Yeah, it's weird because I've obviously when it started last February, March, I've been both a student in the pandemic and a staff side of things.
You were still at school at that point.
I've seen both the student side of things and the staff side of things during a global pandemic, and it is so weird because it's mad how it affects everything. I'm just I'm over it. I go to work, and obviously like things that happen in this, like certain things happen within my job. I've got comfort pupils. Like I've given so many kids like a hug and stuff, because at that point that is so much more important than going, I can't come near you.
Yeah.
Like that could do so much more damage than just...
That kind of brings me back onto the topic of where I was going before I decided to go on my COVID tangent of football. It's hard to explain it, but COVID, you're stressing a lot about your work, stressing a lot about COVID and whatever else. Football is that place to unwind, relax, have a laugh, basically, because I don't know how many times we've trained since we've been allowed back that, I don't know about you, but I've not really thought of catching COVID while I've been around. It's like
you're there, just it's the one sort of time of the week where I could have had a really bad day. It's especially good now that we share lifts and stuff. Like, it makes it that much nicer going to training.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not incredibly close. Like, for you it's a bit closer, but for me it's about half an hour. So now it's more of like a social event, like coming to pick you up or whatever, and we go to training. It's like it's that time of the week you can just forget everything. You can
forget everything for a few hours. You can learn something new.
Have a laugh.
Yeah, you can. In the right stages, we can have a laugh, but we're there to do a job and to learn things. And one really important thing is fitness. Yeah, seeing how some players were keeping the fitnesses up, some weren't, and you could see it straight away. And you could see straight away as well when we come back just how much people missed it.
Yeah.
Like, people were doing, and like myself and you were doing a lot of running and walking.
As much as I physically could.
I did some running, but it's not the same as being with all of your mates.
Yeah. You don't realise how much you miss it until... Because I kind of got used to, like... Obviously, football takes up quite a bit of time. So obviously, when I was at work, I was coming home at 3 every day, and then I was done. And that was my life for, like, a couple of months. And coming home at 3 and just being like, what do I do now? Got nothing to do for the rest of the day. Like, 3's still fairly into the day. And it's nice to now I can come home from work and I know, I've got like rather than having to be like, I've got to drag myself out for a run, I've got that like, I'm going to go and do the exact same amount of exercise that I would do on a run, if not more, but regain the social aspect of things. I think that's what you really miss because of COVID.
I was always planning on, I wanted to do stuff for YouTube and things like that. I kind of wanted to do the podcast a lot earlier than how we've started it now. But doing it online makes it very difficult. I don't have the luxury of being able to potentially record myself and have you on like a webcam or something. It's nicer to have the person in front of you.
Yeah.
You can have
it's more of a chat then.
Yeah, exactly. You don't miss something. It's more fun, and you get to hear the mishaps of when a rabbit gets involved. And I'm pretty sure he wants to be a guest, or he just wants some attention. Yeah, having somebody in person to do it. Not only is it nice to see an actual person in front of you. I mean, we live virtually on screens these days. It's nice to have that person in front of you, to have an actual chat. You get to see their emotions properly. Their internet connection doesn't go all fuzzy and you lose them and they can't hear you.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the way that we're going with this podcast. Like, we have got one guest confirmed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say who it is yet though.
I think leave it a surprise.
Yeah, so we've got one guest confirmed. Hope maybe for the next one.
Yeah, we've got a couple lined up that I think would be happy to take part.
Oh yeah, 100%. And
got ones that we want to take part.
Yeah, we've got ones that we haven't said that they want to be on yet, but we've got some that want to be on. And ideally, we're going to be doing these all in person because it makes it a bit more fun. We can have a laugh like we've done today. Hopefully, this is something that people are actually enjoying. It's something that you can unwind to, have a laugh with us, because this rabbit is doing my head in today.
And hopefully get some insider knowledge as well.
Yeah, although, considering this is the first episode that we've not... I had... How many bullet points do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 13 bullet points for this podcast. I know I've done one. I've done...
We didn't even talk
about players getting released.
But I suppose it gives us time. We've got like a lot of time before the next... We're going to hear lots of probably team news and stuff over the next couple of months before the season anyway.
Yeah. So everything that I had planned for this episode's not really gone the way I wanted it to, but we've gone off on some nice tangents. We've shared a lot of stories.
It's a nice starter, I think.
Yeah, it's more personal, I think. You get to know
us, as well.
You lot get to know each other and what we're like.
And what the rabbit's like.
And what this bloody rabbit's like.
Hopefully when we get other people on, you'll hear other sides, other interesting stories and funny things. And
yeah, to be fair, no matter who we bring on, there's going to be
something.
There's going to be some stories that we don't know about. There's been people here a lot longer than I've been here.
Yeah, same with me. And we've got people that have not been here as long. It would be nice to see I'd like to know what it's like from players or coaches' perspectives that have come in more recently.
Yeah.
What we're like as a team.
Maybe...
Because that would be good to know.
Maybe I'm just pitching ideas as we're going at the moment. Maybe we could have an episode where we have the development staff all on as one group and share horror stories.
I'd love to know from like all of your coaches' perspectives what we're like as a squad.
A pain in the arse.
I can imagine.
But I'm hoping this will go a long way. I want guests, as I've said in previous videos, I want to be able to have guests from the men's team as well on. That will be my
long-term goal, I suppose.
Long-term goal. It'll be trying to break my way through the wall and say, look, we're here for the long run.
Make that link between the men and the women.
Yeah, let's have a guy that sort of knows what he's talking about. Let's have a female player, a male player, or a male staff member from the men's team, and just have a chat. They can share stories. We can
just see where it takes us.
Yeah, if for all we know, we could end up having imagine how crazy it'd be if we had a podcast with Mark Bonner, or just imagine we had either Wes Houlihan or Paul Mullin on here.
Imagine that. That's just
hopefully it's just not in my living room. Imagine Paul Mullin or Wes Houlihan's turned up for a podcast. You're right, guys. Yeah, we've got a professional podcast set up. It's just in my living room, and don't mind the rabbit. He likes to gnaw at things. But
we'll just see where it takes us.
Yeah, 100%.
Over the next couple of months, especially now, like we've only got one more game, us women.
At this point, by the time you've seen this, we would have played our potential.
Well, the date today's the 22nd of May. So,
yeah, so
and our last game's probably tomorrow, 23rd.
Yeah, potentially we would have played our last friendly of the season before we start officially pre-season again. Hopefully, I'm going to have this out in the first week of June.
Yeah.
If it's not, then this bit here is not going to sound particularly brilliant.
Yeah.
Saying it comes out in July.
Can always,
Exactly, yeah. Next one I may squeeze out a bit earlier.
Yeah, we can just...
The end of June, maybe.
I think, well, whenever it happens, like, it'll...
We've got a bit of a break.
Yeah.
We can hopefully get the venue sorted
and
get some guests lined up, ready for the next one.
I don't know if we're going to still be... I don't know the plans, but obviously, last game tomorrow... Are we still going to be training? Are we having a bit of time off? Like, who knows what's going to happen? So,
yeah, I mean, if we get more time off, that means the more time that we've got to plan stuff, and I've got more time to finish either filming or editing an hour and 15 minutes worth of footage.
And then hopefully in a couple of months' time, you might get to hear about the trials that we have, because they're in July.
Cool. Imagine if we signed a trial list and we said, right, your first job is to come on the podcast.
Initiation.
Your initiation is to come onto the podcast.
You're not signed
and to sing in front of a couple of thousand people.
Yeah, so who knows what's going to happen. Could be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this journey.
Yeah.
But my name's been Jim. You've been Lily.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the first...
Listening, watching, taking part.
Yeah, thanks for listening or watching the first episode of this podcast about Cambridge United. This Cambridge United podcast. Thanks for listening to this Cambridge United podcast.
Yeah.
To be fair, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, and see where it takes us.
Hope you enjoyed watching this one, and we'll see you then. And hopefully by then Lily's back will stop making noises. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.